Ready. Play.
Hello, welcome to the live commentary of Maria Sakkari versus Coco Gauff, Washington DC WTA 500 final. Joining me to give me some company is Srihari. Srihari, how are you right now?
I'm good, Vanch. Hope you're doing well too. Pretty excited for this. So I think both players are going for. Well, if I'm not mistaken, this is a 500, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So both players will be going for the first title above the 250 level.
Yes.
And Also knowing Sakkari's history with semifinals, it was pretty big for her to get over the line. Coco Gauff has also been playing pretty well since she, had made some additions to a coaching team. So yeah, for all the reasons, this is a pretty exciting final, and I'm looking forward to covering this with you.
Yeah, for sure. And it seems like a big moment in both of their careers. Obviously, Sakkari is 28,
Yep.
Gauff is 19, and you know, I was asked yesterday on the live stream, who is this more important for? And like in terms of their career, and I still think it's more important for Sakkari just
Yeah,
because
for
she's
sure.
28 years old. And, I mean, well, that's
Hmm.
not old. That's still, and that's nowadays, I guess, kind of in the prime of your career. You still don't know how long that window is going to be when you're at that age. So I just feel like,
Yeah.
and with golf, I feel like because she's a decade younger, and if she doesn't get one now, I feel like eventually, with how motivated she is, how much she's, the good team that she has around her, and just what she's achieved already so far, I think
Yep.
it seems more important for Maria.
For sure. And, as opposed to the ATP, I think the talent pool with amongst the youngsters in WTA is much more dense. So it's definitely more important for Sakri because, I mean, we are seeing quite a few late bloomers on the ATP circuit. Three of them, around the same age as Maria Sakri, Talon Griekspoor, Christopher Eubanks, and who was the other player? Oh yeah, Nicholas Jarry. These
Yeah.
three players having their best seasons. But that being said, I do agree with you because it feels like Sakari's been around for quite a long time. I'm pretty sure we've seen her at the top level for a better part of the last 5 years, and then to think that she only has one title to her name just feels a little odd. And she's played pretty well here, so which would be pretty disappointing for her if she missed out on another opportunity to win a title. And like you mentioned, Coco Gauff has a lot of time. We just don't realize how young she is. She's only 19, and even she's been around for a while. Um, and yeah, she definitely has a lot more time. She's not even. I don't think she's hit her prime yet. So yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah, and I think the match has actually started. So
Okay.
we're
Right. The
3
full
points in.
disclosure for everyone who's watching the stream and you, I don't have a stream myself, but of course, I will just be running the production here, interacting with people in the comment section. I'll be bringing up comments to the stream, and I'll also, share whatever I have to share. Going off what's happening in the match.
Yeah,
Right. So just give me a second.
so yeah, Goff is serving first, and just came up with a big serve at 30-15. Her serve has been so good all week.
Uh-huh. How's the forehand
Sometimes
looking?
really big.
A lot of people are saying that her game's looking pretty promising and quite different from how she's how she usually plays. I think she's added Brad Gilbert
Yeah, so
to her team.
she added Parariba before
Hmm.
Eastbourne, I think, in the 500 event just before Wimbledon, and then she's added Brad Gilbert just after Wimbledon. They've been working on the court, and I think the forehand is a big focus.
Right.
So, uh, along with just being more offensive minded with that shot, and I think that's what I see is just she's getting a lot more depth and pace on that forehand,
Hmm.
especially on the return. But it's too early for me to see. Obviously, this a kind of change like this is going to take a lot of time. Like
Right.
at least give or take maybe 2 or 3 months. I think
Hmm.
for us to fully see like the improvement, like to
Yeah.
the extent that we would want to. But I think some progress is being actively made now, which is a good sign.
Yep.
And of course, when she plays the really big hitters, that's when it'll really be tested a lot. Which it was yesterday against Samsonova, but Samsonova was also making a lot of unforced errors, and I think a lot of that was also partially due to Gauff's amazing court coverage and defense, and just extending a lot of those baseline rallies. And I think she knew that every time she could extend those rallies with her footwork and just kind of give the forehand a bit more air and set up her backhand and use the forehand as a setup shot rather than an offensive shot. That's when you do well. So
Yeah, I
which
mean the
that
uh,
Sakkari has a 4-1 head to head, and she's been able
yeah,
to
it's
exploit the
the
Gauff
biggest
forehand in the
issue
past.
has mostly been right. Yeah, the biggest issue has been the take back on the forehand is just too much for me for her own good.
Yeah,
Not that easy to do damage when you have such a forehand motion. So yeah, we'll
yeah,
have to see. Like you mentioned, it's a bit too early this tournament. Um,
hmm
but obviously that perception would change if she does win. Um,
yeah.
so yeah, let's just see how
By the
this
way,
goes.
good
And
depth on that. Good depth on a forehand return. First serve out wide. Sakkari actually hit her spot pretty well. Gauff was able to extract an error. So now
hmm
15. There was a confidence first game from Gauff. She's looking really sharp and focused and engaged early on.
hmm
Another big forehand return this time down the center, and they're going backhand to backhand, which I like Gauff in that exchange. Now forehand to forehand. Um, Gauff defending on her forehand, and Sakkari pulling the trigger a bit too early and going wide. So she's a little bit tense early on, and Gauff is doing well to skip many balls back in play and hasn't really made any unforced errors so far. Although it's still very early, still on the second game. First serve down the tee, and Gauff going down deep down the middle with that return, which is a good strategy. And Sakkari pulls the forehand wide again. So right under the gun in her first service game. Now 40. Three early breakpoint chances for Coco Gauff. Sakkari serves again to the forehand. Gauff gets a good amount of height on the return. Gauff running, defending with the forehand. Sakkari has an open court backhand. Nice jumping backhand winner for Sakkari. She likes to take the ball really early and on the rise, especially from the middle of the court. Doesn't want to let it drop too much because that's where her contact point is the most comfortable, shoulder height. 15-40. Oh, looks like Sakkari missed the first serve. So
Oh, Sakri yips on the serve again. Yeah, I
um,
mean, I'm not even
second
watching the
serve, let's see.
match. I can tell that definitely some nerves.
Ooh, yikes! Yes, as soon as that comment came, I knew a double fault was coming because I guess they're maybe 1 point ahead. So
hmm
that's 2 love, and Brad Gilbert is pretty ecstatic by the start. Interesting. Gauff going back on the second serve return quite a bit, just giving herself a little bit more time. I like that play a lot. Just like we
hmm
talk about Tsitsipas doing that on his one-handed backhand, protecting that weakness a little bit,
Yep.
getting a little bit more air under the ball and kind of playing it like he would on a clay court, but then doing a really good job to come back up and step in and not hang
Yep.
around behind the baseline too long.
hmm
So yeah, a little bit of a nervy start in the first service game for Sakkari, and Gauff taking full advantage. Another big serve, two really big serves. Wow, 30 love. I mean, like I said, her serve has been on fire this whole week. Anytime she's faced break points, she's come up with aces, big first serves, unreturnable. She has one of the
These
biggest
two
first serves in the
played
game.
in the WTA finals last year, right? Or am I?
No, I think their last meeting was in Rome last year in 2022. So it's been a long, it's been a while. It's before
Oh,
Coco Gauff
okay.
to the French Open final. And another really confident approach this time off the forehand. It wasn't a great approach shot, but she covers the net really well and hits a nice backhand volley winner. good stab, good split step. She plays a lot of doubles, and you can see that it's certainly paying off because that's another way that she can win points. She's at 40 love. Um,
Wait, has Sakkari won a point yet? I don't know.
yeah, I think she won a couple of points. She won 1 point in the first game, but maybe she held at 30. And going forehand to forehand, Gauff getting a decent amount of depth. Oh, but Sakkari comes up with a beautiful inside out forehand winner. And I can see the footwork already when Gauff is moving to her forehand. So just a little bit sharper, a little bit quicker. That helps her, especially with the extreme grip. We talk about Iga Swiatek. She has a similar grip as well, but she really rips the ball and goes after it and has really proactive footwork. Whereas Gauff, I think it's a little bit unorganized, but now she's been working on that. So 40-15, second serve.
Wait,
And she gets the return of the
I may be wrong,
ball.
but I thought Sakkari had more of an Eastern grip
Oh,
before.
I'm talking about Gauff.
Oh, Gauff, right? Okay, yeah.
Yeah,
I know that
yeah.
Gauff and Sakkari they have like sort
Sakkari's
of a what?
forehand is more traditional. Gauff
Yeah,
has an extreme kind of Western grip,
yeah,
but it's not that uncommon. I mean, we see players even on the ATP that have that same grip.
yeah.
Hachano, for example, Tiafo. Um, who else? I think maybe Michael Mo has it as well.
Hmm.
But especially on the WTA, I mean, the best example is Iga. But she's able to just get a lot
I
of
think
acceleration, a lot
Korda
of
also maybe
upspin.
has kind of a Western grip,
Kind of. His is more semi-Western, more
semi-West.
traditional, I
Yeah,
would say.
Tsitsipas, Felix, these guys have sort of an Eastern grip, I would say. Um,
Yeah, they have kind of the Federer take back. Federer's was also Eastern. Um,
yep. Mm.
it's just like almost closer to a continental grip, like what you would have on your backhand volley or your serve.
All right. So whoever's in the comments, I have a question for them. If you would win the toss, would you elect to serve or receive, or does it depend on the conditions and opponent and whatnot?
And just how confident you're feeling about your serve.
Right.
Normal.
Yeah, that too. But I haven't seen much of that. I've seen players mostly just go for one or the other. Guys like Medvedev, Berrettini, Holger Rune, Alcaraz. Um, Most of them they just elect to receive. No matter me, I would say they have pretty good serves. No matter who they're playing, no matter what the condition is, they would elect to receive. Pretty sure. I remember once Federer played Karlovic at the Australian Open. What was it, 2012? He elected to receive, which was so bizarre. Um, so yeah, I just wonder what the psychology behind that is. In depth. I just doesn't seem like there really is much insight.
Yeah. Um,
Okay, it's not looking good.
Sakkari serving first. Sakkari, Gauff actually doing a really good job of opening the court up with her forehand, and wow, she actually hits a forehand approach shot winner and goes behind Sakkari, and this one was hit with a decent amount of pace too. So good signs for Coco early on. It's just a really confident, aggressive start. Yeah. Sakkari doing a really good, uh, Goff doing a really good job of not overplaying so far in this match because she's realized that Sakkari is a little tight, as she tends to be in these kind of rounds, and Goff is just getting more balls back, getting more air on them, just focusing on starting the point and just going deep down the middle and making Sakkari come up with with something or beat herself with it. Fifteen thirty. Forehand to forehand. Gauff wins another forehand to forehand exchange, looking really, really solid. Um, and again, I just think it's the footwork. She's timing the ball a little bit better because she's in position better, and she's actually ripping it, like going after her miles per hour way up. And it seems like her contact point, which used to be kind of all over the place, she was contacting it way too high, above her shoulder, below her knees. It was all over the place. Now it feels like it's a much more centered, and it's just
Yeah, and I would
a lot better.
say that was probably the missing piece, although um, I don't think she's in her prime yet. Still has some
Yeah,
work to do before she gets to a level where she can contend for the biggest titles. But this is a pretty big leap forward.
yeah. I mean, we've
If
seen
again
winning a
this tournament is
500
anything to
is
go
it's
by,
not.
which we'll have to see.
Yeah, winning a 500 would be a good step forward.
Yeah.
Oh, it's Goff again going big with the forehand, but this time places it well. But this time Sakkari actually gets their defense pretty well cross court and gets the error from Coco, so it's deuce breakpoint saved. She missed it, but it was a good idea. Um, it seems like there's something going on with the heat. Some fan in the crowd. I'm gonna switch on the commentary just so I know what's going on. Just for a second. Is there a fan ill in the crowd because of the heat? Uh, the umpire is calling both the players out of her chair. Um,
Wait, what's going on again? Oh, heat.
there's a little bit of a disruption. I think someone in the crowd has. They're just taking a pause. I missed actually what the. It's something to do with the fan in the stands. Let's see if there's any more info since I didn't have the commentary on earlier.
Yeah, I mean, tennis TV did show that the highlights. I think on YouTube or X, both actually, and they showed some scenes of both players feeling some nausea and sort of getting through it. So yeah, it was pretty brutal.
There was a moment in the week where Gauff said she was ready to perform CPR on a fan who
Oh
was
yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, there was another incident like that. One of her
in
matches
fell,
was the quarterfinal, I think.
and she
Yeah,
basically did like a a promo for
right.
getting a CPR certificate
Yeah,
in her on-court interview, which was a funny moment, but also pretty cool. All right, looks like the play is resumed, and hopefully that fan is okay. So we're back at deuce. First serve for Sakkari. Nice backhand cross court. It'd be big for Sakkari just to get a game here and just be on the board. And ace out wide. So she does save a break point and holds.
yeah, that should help.
You don't want to go love 4 and potentially love 5 down. And this would
No,
be an interesting game for Goff because she had chances to go up 2 breaks,
yeah.
and you could see a difference between 4-love and 3-1 here.
Yeah, I personally would prefer to serve first usually, just
Because when you're up a break on the changeover, it's a 3 game difference as opposed to a 1 game difference.
Yes,
And
psychologically, it's a little bit of a difference. Just like the
yeah,
difference between being up 5-2 versus, you know, like
say
if you
4-3 with a
return
break.
first and you keep hold and you break once, then you'll
yeah,
win the set 6-4. But if you serve first and you
Yeah,
get one
exactly.
break,
You if you serve well enough, you put yourself in a position where
yeah.
you're just a break away from taking the set.
All right, first moment of adversity for Goff here. She's down left 30. She just hit a double fault. Couple of missed first serves. Second serve. Oh, Sakkari misjudges that second serve and dumps it in the net. 80 mile per hour second serve. 15-30. Serves out wide, gets the short forehand. This time she sprays it wide on the inside out. Looked like the footwork wasn't quite in point there. Seemed to be perhaps putting too much topspin on that one, but 15-40. Second serve here. Ooh, that's a costly game. Two double faults. And
Yeah, there you go. You know, she had those chances to go up 4-love.
yeah,
Could have been two breaks, but now we're back on serve. And this would
yeah.
help Sakkari a lot because, you
Credit
know,
to
she really
Sakkari
was
for
hurting.
the breakpoint save. I thought she played exactly the perfect point there.
Yeah.
And then also there was the interruption. So
Oh, yeah, that's
at
true.
that point, that could have changed things, but you had Sakkari just regroup pretty quickly and
Hmm.
win the next 2 points. And all of a sudden the pressure
Yeah,
was
that
back
should.
on Coco, and now we're back on serve. Perhaps the most unpopular opinion I've ever had on Twitter since we're in a commercial break. I was talking about how Montreal and Toronto, right?
Hmm.
They're
Oh, yeah, I
played in
saw
two
that tweet.
different cities and
Mhm.
venues, and I'm just thinking like these are two different
But do
tournaments,
you
right?
do you think the conditions are that different?
I think they're a little bit different. Like, I mean, there's a reason why some players only do really well in Toronto and not in Montreal. Or in the past, I think they were more different than they are now. Now I think they're actually more similar. But I think if I'm not mistaken, Toronto is a little bit quicker. Maybe the stadium is a little bigger. Maybe there's like a few different other variables besides the besides just the court speed, because I think that also changes a little bit year after year. Like, courts get resurfaced. Maybe the CPI goes up one year, down another year. Maybe the weather plays a role in that too, and
Hmm.
the humidity and temperature, heat, all of that. Um, and I do know how the rankings work in terms of it being a 52-week system, and points dropping off regardless of like the tournament itself, but more the date of
Right.
when those were achieved. So I get all of that, but I just feel like it's are two different tournaments. Like the defending champion
Mhm.
of Montreal, you know, like
Maybe, but it's still two
isn't
different venues, but the same tournament, which is
yeah.
probably, I mean, obviously it's unique to this tournament, as we know. But um, yeah, I guess it's
Like either way, I
you
think
probably have to
I
look
mean,
more
someone will
into the
be
CPI and of both courts. Really, I mean, I'd like to think that. I mean, I know that 2019 Montreal was dead slow. So I mean,
yeah.
so was the case in to an extent in 2017. It was slow, which you could see with that Zverev Gasquet rally. What was that 40 shot rally to save match point? And Zverev went on to win that tournament 2017. But yeah, obviously Montreal. The tournament didn't return to Montreal in the men's side until 2022, and of course the women's side 2021. So basically, it flipped from there. Until then, it was
Yeah.
Montreal every odd year for men's, Toronto every even year,
I'm
and
still
then
trying to
vice
work out
versa.
why they do it like that. Why it's kind of cool that they alternate, but it's like
Mhm.
why is it not one for the WTA, one for the ATP, or why is it not combined? I'm sure it's not combined because it's probably don't have enough room on site for both.
That too, and I mean, I guess both venues or residents close to both venues will not miss out on action in a given year. Um,
I
So let's
think
say you're having both in Montreal. Obviously, whoever's living in Toronto, close to Toronto, doesn't have tennis action that year. if it's men's or women's, regardless,
Yeah.
you're still getting some thousand level tennis
Yeah, that's
action.
why I like it. But but yeah, I
And
don't know.
it's
I just thought I'd
pretty,
throw that out there. I guess the
yeah,
responses
pretty
have been
interesting
interesting in terms
anyway.
of
But yeah,
yeah.
in a way,
It's
I
like
mean,
basically how it would work is like PCB wouldn't have to worry about defending points this year for Canada, and then you'd have to defend those a year. I mean, I guess like
Simona
it
Halep
would be a little
as
bit
well.
odd to have
Um,
points when you're
yeah,
ranking for 2
Simona
years.
Halep pretty much, I think, loses her ranking soon enough. So
Yeah.
maybe that wouldn't have been the case if what you suggested was the rule.
I feel like yeah. I mean, the main argument against this is that points should just drop off after every 52 weeks period, and that because we have lots of events that move around on the calendar, and then a
Yep.
lot of events like maybe there's some events that don't happen every year, right? Like how there's like St. Petersburg one year was like a 500, and then it was like not on the calendar, or like Astana. Like there's like all these events like that, and then they just don't appear
Yep.
for a long time. So I guess then it's like, what happens to those? Like, would you still make players defend? I don't know. It's an interesting discussion.
Yeah,
Like,
but I can also see the argument where the ranking system does become shabbier if that were the
yeah,
case. And especially in light of everything that's happened the last few years because of COVID and because of Wimbledon
yeah,
last
that
year,
makes sense.
I think that's something that's the last thing people want. They're like, no,
That's
just
true.
let's just go on with it. Um,
Yeah,
and now,
it would
with
probably be more confusing also for fans. I could
yeah,
understand that.
and it's gonna come back to a full circle now with the tour returning to
Yeah,
China after 4 years. Um, I'm gonna have Wuhan and Shanghai again after many years. So it's finally like, okay, everything's back to normal. So yeah, I guess people would just like that.
mm,
That I think tennis probably in that sense, people are most content with how things are in terms of rules, regulations, point system,
yeah,
the convention, um, than most other sport. I think a lot of sports are in a way more open to change than tennis has been over the years. I mean, we have seen some changes with advantage sets being scrapped from Grand Slams. All of them bar U.S. Open. We just
yeah.
have all of them play the 10-point tiebreaker in the deciding set. Maybe for the better, to be very honest. But yeah, other than that, I just can't think of any other big change.
By the way,
Even
moving
the
back
day,
to the match just for a
right?
second, because Gauff
Yeah,
has
yeah,
broken
yeah.
again, and
Right. Yeah,
she wins
pretty
another
important
forehand to
juncture.
forehand exchange. Some good depth, decent amount of height over the net, just giving herself a bit more margin, and kind of back to the same tennis we saw in the first couple of games from the baseline. So it's a good response to getting broken and not playing a good service game at 3-1. Yeah, I kind of see the argument now for it.
So what exactly happened in that game for Goff to get the break back?
It was mostly Sakkari, of course, missing some first serves. Mistimed a couple
Mhm.
of ground strokes from the baseline, but Goff did a good job of keeping the ball deep, playing a lot of cross court angles and trying to open up the court.
Right.
Um, and she won a lot of the forehand to forehand exchanges as well. Some good defense. And now two big serves to start off the game to go up 30 golf. This is some of the best tennis I've ever seen Golf play. Just as soon as I said that, another double fault. Okay, this time the forehand goes wayward for Gauff, and she misses the forehand cross court. So it's 30 all of a sudden. Coco loose errors. Oh, and great first serve ace out wide. Took a little bit of the pace off, but perfect placement. Sakkari was nowhere near it. 5 aces already for Gauff in this match. 3
Yeah,
double
that's really good.
faults, but it's a good ratio. Backhand to backhand. Sakkari changing directions, going backhand down the line. She has a big forehand in the middle of the court. Coco defends it. Forehand to forehand. This time Gauff dumps a backhand in the net. So it's deals.
Not out of this game yet. Um,
Interesting that she chose to take that ball in the backhand. Trying to go inside in, but just got caught by the footwork. Backhand to backhand. Gauff stepping in. Sakkari unloads on a forehand cross court, but Gauff responds with another forehand cross court backhand. This time it's a winner. Some really good counter attacking and good shape on the ball. But the footwork again is what really stood out. Sakkari hits that forehand, and Coco gets that forehand on the run and is able to get that cross court with pace and with a good amount of pace. So that's a big forehand winner at a big moment. That was maybe the most impressive point all match from her. Second serve, game point. Oh, this time it sits up right in Sakkari's strike zone, the second serve, and Sakkari takes a big rip and goes inside in for a winner. So deuce. So far, Gauff 9 winners in this match to Sakkari 6. I guess that would include the 5 aces. Gauff rolling that first serve in at 92 miles per hour, but Sakkari sending a return deep cross court. Gauff going down the line with her forehand pretty confidently and draws the error. So we're actually seeing Gauff winning offensive points off her forehand. This is new.
yeah, and also people probably don't want to get too excited, but we're seeing something different, quite different this tournament from Gauff.
Added in a beautiful kick serve. gets over Maria's shoulders and 91 miles per hour and 5-2. That was a big hold.
Yeah, it's coming at the right time. I think for both players, even if Sakkari loses this, she's had a tough season, no doubt about it. I mean, back to back
Yeah. Srihari is not here. Looks like he's trying to come back in.
Yeah, I think you lost me for a sec.
Gauff with a strong forehand return deep down the middle. He gets the arrow from Sakkari on the backhand, so it's left 15.
Yeah. Can you hear me, by the way?
Yes, you're back in and I
Okay,
can
yeah.
hear you.
As I was mentioning before I got cut off the stream, yeah, Sakkari's had a pretty tough year. I think she lost in the first round of both of her previous two slams.
Yeah.
So yeah, and for golf as well, just before the U.S. Open to find this form, pretty encouraging for both players, regardless of who wins.
We see Gauff making another return. Sakkari not able to put the forehand away, so she's lost 11 of the last 15 points and it's left 30. This would be huge for Gauff to get the set right here and serve first at the start of the second.
Yep.
All right, so a good baseline rally over here, and this time Gauff shanks the forehand. So 15-30. Sakkari really needs a big first serve here. She's not getting nearly the amount of free points that she was getting yesterday against Coco. Going backhand to backhand. Gauff changes direction, goes down the line, and it works. As Sakkari is not able to get to the forehand. And it's 15-40. So 2 set points for Coco Gauff. Second serve. Gauff gets a really good return deep down the line with her forehand, and Sakkari sprays the backhand wide. Brad Gilbert is out of his chair. That was a great set from Coco Gauff. Aside from the one service game that she double faulted twice in and got broken, and she wins that set 6-2.
Yeah,
Wow.
I mean, like I mentioned, I don't have the stream, but from what I've seen so far, could say that I mean, Goff is just all over Sakkari. She's clinical. Although Sakkari had that small opening where she could have gotten back into the set, 2-3. Gauff just played too well, and she seized the broke Sakkari thrice. Probably would have sealed the set earlier if she say did double fault twice on her own service game and took those chances at 3-love.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, yeah, I mean it was pretty clinical, and yeah, maybe could help Sakkari settle her nerves, but I don't know. I mean, seems like Goff's playing too well for that, and
Wait, I have a
any
question
kind
for
of
you since I actually don't remember now. But is
Mhm.
does the ATP Finals, the points that are being offered there, let's say you win it and you get 1,300 or 1,500,
Mhm.
like do you have to defend that the next year?
Right. So basically, they remove those points just before the tournament.
Yeah. So but you don't have to. Oh yeah, okay. They
Yeah, you
remove
don't
it.
technically you don't have to defend them, uh,
Yeah, that's what I mean.
because
Okay.
the race ends up becoming the rankings just
Yes,
before the tournament. Yeah.
exactly. So
Yeah.
yeah, because somebody is saying that what about the uh, ATP Finals that changes venues every X number of years? So
Yeah.
is
No,
the
that's not a
finals
very good analogy because
is the final
you
champion of
nobody
one
really
venue keeping
defends
the
those
points for
points.
all X years? It's not the same as the
Yeah.
other tournaments, right? Because it's by then the race is over and it's
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, I
okay.
mean, you basically defend points until Guadalajara for the WTA tour, Paris Bercy on the ATP tour, and
Yeah,
that is when the race becomes the
the
rankings.
rankings. Yeah. Okay, interesting. This might be the most unpopular opinion I've ever had, to be honest. But hey, we keep it because it's a good discussion.
Mm-hmm. It is. I may not agree, but it is pretty
Yeah,
interesting. Pretty interesting take. Just because, I mean, of course, it is a very unique prospect. But then, I still think that maybe with that comes something good. Like I mentioned, people still get to watch tennis action across the country. Or I
yeah,
want to say two cities, not
yeah, yeah. No,
exactly
no. To
across.
be fair, I was saying I'm in favor of like the whole alternating thing and the way they do it. Like I like that. I'm used to it. But mine was like was defending the points from one venue to stay
Mhm.
consistent. So it's like you shouldn't have to. It was more about the points than the actual thing, like surface changing. Anyways, back to this because actually Sakkari has come up with a couple of powerful shots here, and Gauff is under pressure in the first service game. But 15-30. Second serve. Let's see if Sakkari can step in and do something on the second serve. He hits a good return. And she has the forehand that she wants in the middle of the court, but she just pulls it wide. And it's these type of errors sometimes from the middle of the court that Sakkari's been making. And that was an opportunity for her to try to get this to 15-40. But let's see if she can conjure up a break point. 30 all second serve. Sakkari with a strong forehand return cross court. Point is back to neutral. Backhand down the line for Sakkari. Forehand down the line, and this time it's Gauff who goes long on the forehand. So it's break point. Sakkari.
Interesting comment here. But I'm assuming he's talking about deciding set tiebreakers and slams. Um, yeah, and there's something to differentiate for the women's, between other big tournaments and Grand Slams, because all of them are best of three. But yeah, I guess it's just does deserve to go down the wire anyway. It is thrilling, yes, but then
Yeah.
that's the
Sakkari playing a
best
really
way you
good point
can.
there
Hmm.
and stepping in and attacking with her forehand at deuce. That's a great approach. Coco was out of position, and we shall see if Sakkari is able to convert on this break point. She has a second serve here. Sakkari attacks with the forehand again, going inside in. She's pushed way out wide. Gauff defending on the backhand, and Gauff has a mid-court forehand. She goes for the drop shot. She had the whole court open, uh, but just misses that in the net. Break point down. That was interesting. She hasn't actually used that play that much. As we see her forehand placement, she's usually been hitting a lot of them down the line or hitting inside out, mostly to the opponent's backhand. And I thought she had a lot of options there on that forehand, but we'll see if she can work her way back in this set. But for now, it's Maria who leads by a break.
Momentum shift, maybe.
Wow, really strong serve plus one from Sakkari, using that kick serve, which was very effective yesterday against Pagoda, who likes a lower contact point. Tougher to do against Gauff, but she managed to do that right there. So 30 above. As we see Sakkari loosening up a little bit and playing a lot more freer. A lot more freely, I should say. 30 love, second serve. Gauff keeping the forehand on Sakkari's backhand, making Sakkari hit a slice as the ball stays pretty low. That's a smart play. Anytime you can make Sakkari generate from a low contact point below her knees, come up on the ball. She has a very flat backhand, so that is a shot that can sometimes not be as versatile. Second serve, 30-15. Backhand return cross from Gauff. Forehand loopy point, pattern changing forehand from Gauff, and now they're going backhand to forehand, backhand to backhand. Sakkari leaning into her forehand, going inside in, and then going a big one inside out. And that is the type of tennis that Sakkari needs to be playing, which is stepping in, from the backhand corner and hitting forehands, which is what she does really well, both inside in and inside out. And she gave herself plenty of
Yeah,
margin there and actually
very
just
much
got.
like her male Greek counterpart, if you will. Let's
Yes,
go
I
ahead
was
if
saying
that's
this
a thing.
yesterday.
Yeah,
Stefanos Tsitsipas. Yeah,
yeah.
it's the same kind of a thing, you know. Forehands at the backhand corner and a really nice backhand down the line winner for Sakkari. So a lot of good winners in that last game. 3 or 4 winners, and most of them coming off the forehand, but also good serving and just we're seeing Sakkari just believe a lot more now in the second set, and we have a match I think if
Yep.
this continues. So true love. SAP win probability showing Gauff with a 68% chance of winning. Let's see what that means. If that means anything really.
I mean, I just hope this goes to a deciding set. Um,
Yeah. Big ace down the tee for Gauff. She goes up 30 love. Second serve for Gauff. And backhand down the line winner. So Gauff does hold for 1-2. Still down a break, but encouraging service game at love. Must be pretty late for you where you're at, right, Shrihari?
yeah, it is. We're 11:40, close to. Um, that's kind of why I mean the North American is going to be brutal. Definitely, was nicer when I was in the US. That was what, a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, the time difference pretty brutal. Even though it is um about 8 9 hours. Like the West Coast would be
Mhm.
pretty much half a day the difference, like 11 12 hours
Yeah.
usually. It's kind of what it was in Indian Wells, for example. But yeah,
By the way, Juan Ignacio pointing out that the one title that Sakkari did win was in Rabat in 2019. She lost the
yeah.
first set 6-2 there as well.
Oh, who did she play in that final? I don't remember.
Johanna Konta.
Oh,
So maybe some hope for Sakkari fans.
Yeah, I mean, being up a break in the second set helps too, but yeah. Um,
Second serve for Sakkari. Gauff stepping in on her forehand, going big inside out, very confidently. Great footwork. Of 15. She's also flattening it out a little bit better because she's inside the court. She's the take back doesn't seem to be as much of an issue, especially when she's got the feet in place and she's just swinging through the ball with a lot more intent. Ball 15. I think she's realizing it doesn't have to be the biggest shot in the world, it just has to be purposeful. Ball 15, second serve, some pressure here for Sakkari. And she double faults. So above 30. Second serve, Gauff. 4 or 5 feet behind. Gauff going to step in on the second serve return. Good forehand from Coco. Backhand line from Sakkari. Forehand line from Gauff. Forehand cross from Gauff. Forehand cross from Sakkari. Forehand inside in from Gauff. Backhand cross Sakkari. Backhand cross Gauff. Backhand line, and Gauff misses the forehand into the open court. But a good redirect on the backhand from Sakkari, actually. So forcing Gauff to mistime that forehand. 15-30, a much needed point. There's a physical rally, at least 12 or 13 shots. 15-30 and second serve. And Sakkari go for the kick serve out wide again. Let's see, that's usually been her go-to. She goes down the middle. They're in a neutral rally at the minute. Gauff and Sakkari trading forehands cross court. Still trading cross court, cross court, cross court, cross court. Backhand cross, and Sakkari looked like she stopped moving her feet there as Gauff hits a winner. Sakkari a little bit off balance. Let's see what happened there. Trading forehand cross court blows before Maria hits one a little bit too central, and Gauff is able to step in on the backhand and get it in the open court. Big fist pump. Crowd is ecstatic. We're at 15-40. This would be huge for Gauff to get back into the set now. Looks like something else is happening. Let me just turn on the commentary. What the umpire is calling both players to the net again. We obviously had an issue with the medic earlier. Someone in the crowd.
oh, again, it's a heat issue in DC around this time.
Someone again in the stands.
Ooh. Stay hydrated. I mean, it's pretty easy to say, but yeah.
Last time it was Maria who responded well and ended up breaking serve and got herself back in the set before Gauff was able to break again. But this time, she's up a break and she's 15-40 down, then there's going to be a bit of a break, commercial break, and then we'll come back. As Sakkari is venting to her coach, Tom Hill. A bit frustrated not having to stop playing here, understandably. By the way, Danielle Collins has qualified for Montreal, the world number 49. She had a
Oh.
6-1, 1-6-6-1 win yesterday over Eugenie Bouchard.
Hmm. I think
today
Georgie qualified as well.
Alina Bektas, 7-5 in the third.
Yeah.
Bektas was up
Wasn't she the
5-3.
finalist last year? I'm surprised she didn't get a
So
wild
it's a
card.
good win for Collins, who's now into the main draw.
Mhm.
Some other names who've qualified: Georgie. By the way, Georgie is the defending
Yeah, I
champion,
mentioned
technically, of
Georgie.
Montreal, if we go by my logic. 2021
Yeah,
Montreal.
yeah. I mean, that's why I was
Uh,
surprised that she was in qualifying because
she's
she was
also
the
playing qualifying,
finalist.
which is interesting. She had a win today over Ashley Kruger.
Mm.
Let's look at the qualies for the men. Schwartzman with a good win over Alexander Vukic in qualies.
Yeah,
No,
he
Jetfield will be
went through
delighted
without
with that.
dropping a set. Um,
So he's qualified for the main event. Kokonakis is
yeah,
qualified as well. Christian Garin qualifying. Marcus Giron
Garin's
qualifying.
in
Taro
qualifying.
Daniel
Wait,
looks
oh
like
yeah,
he's about to
he's
qualify. Yep, point against Boutte right now.
I don't think Garin really did anything since Miami, right?
Srihari, I think you might be muted. I don't know. Because I can't hear you.
Yeah, can you hear me?
All right, so it looks like Srihari is going to be leaving. Let me see if I can put up the score. Because play has resumed again, and Sakkari saved the first break point, and this time it's Sakkari who nets a backhand cross court into the net, and she's frustrated as Gauff has got the break back. Let me see if I can share my screen. Share the screen. I will select the tab. Wait a minute. WPA scores. Love 15. Why is this not letting me share? Can people see the score now? Someone comment in the chat below if you can see the scores. No, can't see the score. That's weird. How about now? All right. So key point over here, 2-all, 30-all. Sakkari misses the first serve. Sorry, Gauff misses the first serve. Second serve from Gauff, and she double faults on a big point. So 30-40 at 2-all. That is weird. I will get somebody to fix that. I don't know why I can't share my screen and watch the match at the same time. That's probably why. It's a good rally over here with Sakkari stepping in on the backhand down the line. Gauff getting it back, good defense. Then Gauff going for the backhand down the line redirect, but she just misses it in the net. Well played from Sakkari there on that break point, and it's a great 3-2. Can you all not see the scores? All right, how about now? We're having a technical issue with the scores. But anyway, 3-2, 15 love. Forehand to forehand rally. Gauff changes directions, going with the forehand down the line. Sakkari getting in back deep, forehand inside in. Another forehand inside in the corner from Sakkari. And a really beautiful backhand cross court leans into for a winner. So it's 30 love. Sakkari missing the backhand down the line after a beautiful kick serve at 30-15. So it's 30 all here with Sakkari now being upper break twice in the second set. Second serve, this is a big moment because Sakkari wants to be able to consolidate this break. Forehand cross court from Gauff. Good depth, but Sakkari again decelerating on the forehand, 5 feet behind the baseline. And that was at the bottom of the net. So oh, and this time it's Sakkari who misses the backhand. And it's a break back. Very interesting. We all. Couple of poor errors there from Maria, 30 love up. Kind of gifted that break back a little bit. Forehand cross court rallies before Sakkari misses the forehand wide, going for too small of a target there, as she had Gauff stretched out on her forehand corner. That could be costly, as Sakkari misses that one. There we go. And Gauff winning another forehand to forehand exchange. Good height over the net, good topspin, forcing Maria to go for a bit too much. Second serve to the Sakkari backhand. Gauff stepping in on a forehand, and this time this is the backhand. Good defense from Maria. So Sakkari does find herself now serving at 3-4 in the second set. And we'll be right back. Gauff winning another forehand to forehand exchange, and this time at a key moment in 15:30. So this is Gauff's moment right here. If she has to win this match. Another forehand to forehand exchange. Who will get tight first? Sakkari going big on some of these forehands. So is Gauff. And Gauff is able to get the errors. Wow. That's an amazing forehand uh, from Gauff. As Sakkari is not able to defend it. And she goes up 5-3. Gauff was able to go up 15 love. And this is just so impressive. She was 2 love down in the second set. She's managed to turn this thing around. Really going after the forehand. All right, 30-15 for Gauff. Second serve at 30-15. Sakkari forehand inside in. Maria fighting back in this game. It's 30-all. Oh my goodness, and Gauff again, setting up the point beautifully with her forehand, and Sakkari not able to recover fast enough back to the middle. And this championship point for Coco Gauff. Oh, this time Sakkari comes in and crushes the second serve. Abuse. Oh, and she gets the first serve. 3 point. Oh, and Gauff wins the title with a backhand winner cross court. Amazing.